King Kong ain't got shit on me.
Yeah, let's go. Got the incense going, so the ambiance is right. What's good with everybody? Welcome to Kush Equilibrium. I am your always smoking host. Oops, great. I'm fighting off to sleep. It's raining outside. You know how it be when it's raining and whatnot. I got the window cracked, so the smell coming in. I just took a shower. I told myself, take a shower before you do the show. So that way, while you know what I'm saying, you already set for the night. And what happened? I get out the shower, it's raining. The bed, my room smell like rain and whatever. Anywho, I'm gonna fight through it as best I can, including while smoking, so we can talk about this here hip hop day while we take our smoke break. You know what I'm saying? Today we're gonna talk about the Clipse and this album that is coming out any day now. Well, I think a day and a couple of hours roughly. Let God sort them out. I love that title. I love that title. That might be one of the best titles I've heard in a long time. Let God sort them out, because that phrase has meaning to it. So as an older person to hear, you know, let God sort them out without hearing the other part that goes to it. Like, all right. Y'all thought on that. Y'all thought on that. But I just want to ask a couple of questions. Is my pen dying? I think my pen is dying, yo. Just want to ask a couple of questions that we can talk about real quick and smoke while we do it. So, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm gonna get the screen shared. I appreciate the new subscribers. I think in the last 2 days I gained 4 new subscribers. Don't sound like a lot, but getting people to commit to looking at your content on a regular basis, which is basically what a subscription is, you plan on regularly watching or tuning in. So for those 3 or 4 people who threw them subscriptions my way, appreciate it. Slow growth is always better than no growth. Now, let me get the screen shared. Get my joint light lit up, and we can talk about it. All right, let me get lit up. Let me get lit up now. Hopefully y'all smoking. This is a smoke break. So smoking, drinking, whatever you need to do to relax and chill, do that. Because that's what I want the show to be. This might be the best one I rolled up in a while. I don't know if it. Let's see. I should have shared. Don't worry about it. It look good. It smell good. I apologize for any of the rain sounds y'all may hear. I usually put my videos through a little filter to knock out some of that background noise. I got a window literally right here. 2 of them, matter of fact. So downspout right there. So I do apologize. Now, let God sort them out, right? We're all familiar with this album by now. This album has had a beautiful rollout. Shout out to the Clipse. Everything we ask when being presented new music, they gave it to us with this album. But let's get straight to the questions. In one day, 3 hours, 8 minutes and change, I'm going to sit here. I'm going to listen to this entire album. And in my own humble opinion, come up with the thumbs up or thumbs down approach. I don't know. Like, either it's a good album or it's not. But here's why I'm making this video. I don't think that this album can just be a good album. It can't just be solid. It's been built up too much. That rollout was executed wonderfully. The Clipse have gone about doing press all over the place. They did a dope interview with Elliott Wilson if you want to go check that out. The build up for it has been so big. Plus our expectations of the Clipse is so grand. I don't think there's a real space for this album to just be good. I think the standard has been built for this album to either be a tremendous success, or we're going to hear people say, I don't know why the Clipse came out of retirement. They should have stayed where they was at. Focus on clothes and church music or something weird to that nature, right? But let's look at what we know. No rumors, no leaks, because I know the album got leaked and that's whack. I'm not reacting to a leak like that. I want the actual album to be released and I will do my reaction to it then. But in the meantime, in between time, we can get some clues about the album itself. Starting with when I look at an album, the first thing I want to know, for me, how many tracks I got? 13 tracks. Perfect. Not too much. What that tells me is they not trying to fill us up with a whole bunch of fluff, hoping that something gets thrown against the wall and sticks. I believe when you give out a shorter album, you have confidence, more confidence in the tracks you do provide us. You know what I'm saying? Compared to like getting 18 to 20 some odd tracks, that to me just feels like you might have faith in 4 or 5 and the rest is just maybe it catches this person, maybe this track catches this person. I catch a niche or a group of people, enough of them to where it hits the charts. I don't feel like that approach was taken with this at all. Plus, with all the interviews that's been out there, and to hear they've been fighting for this album for a year. They could have easily been like, they don't want this album, throw it away, start over fresh. They didn't do it. They fought for it. Even if that meant coming off bread, having to go do another deal to get it out, they did what they felt they needed to do. So shout out to them for not providing us with just filler. They giving us 13 tracks that they confident is fire. My own personal expectation is, because the Clipse has never been the ones to, or even if you want to just single out Pusha T, they don't. I don't think I've ever remembered a moment where they hid their best work. With that being said, I think they gonna come out the gate fire. Birds don't sing. I think that's about to be fire. Because you can't give a dud when track 2 is Chains and Whips with Kendrick. They understand song placement on the album. So you can't roller coaster us way down here and then we got Dot shoot us up. Because then after that, you see what I'm saying? You gotta watch that roller coaster move with albums. I mean, if you really want to play with mood like that, I have at it. But I'm looking at the way the tracks are lined up. I think out the gate with John Legend. I fuck with John Legend. Maybe you don't rock with John Legend, but it's John Legend. So you gonna get John Legend, track 1. Track 2, you gonna get Kendrick Lamar. And then track 3, Tyler the Creator. If that ain't a strong out the gate, I don't know what is. And then they whet our appetites with So Be It. And for track 4, they give us So Be It Part 2. You see that's look, That's a dope way to do it. That's a dope way to do it. We all know Ace Trumpets, dope. All things considered with the Dream, got Pharrell, and then Clipse. I'm curious though, if a lot of these tracks that just say Clipse, I feel like somewhere in here is a guest feature. Or I could be hoping. It could be my hope. It could be my hope. But I think somewhere in here is a guest feature that we just don't know what it is because they didn't put the name by it. I like that the title, Let God Sort Them Out. And then by the end of the album, you get By the Grace of God. So I feel like it's definitely going to be some type of theme. And when I say theme, I don't necessarily mean the tempo of the songs, but the message overall for the album. Let's see, track 12, Let God Sort Them Out is track 12. So the title track is towards the end. Interesting. Like, there's not a lot of crazy names on here. Ab Live or Live, whatever. I'm not too familiar with, but I'm open to anything. So, Stove God Cooks, Clipse, Pusha T, Malice, FICO. I mean, this looks like a really good album, right? Like, everything in my body tell me this album is about to be fire. But I have to ask the question, because that's the point of the video. If this album's not fire, I don't mean it's trash. I mean, if the album is just good, it's solid, a solid album. Is that acceptable? Is that enough for this album? If this doesn't debut at the top, towards the top of the charts, is that a failure? Because of the build up, because of who we're talking about, it being the Clipse, the fact that No Malice comes seemingly out of retirement, reteams with his brother to do this album. Is it championship or bust? Let's put it that way. Because I think like more people are going to be more familiar with that phraseology. Is it championship or bust? Let's say the album comes out, the initial numbers come out, it debuts on the Billboard at 50. It debuts at 50. Is that a failure? I'm asking about numbers because while we like to get cute and say numbers don't matter, guess what? Numbers do matter when you compare yourself to the greats. When you compare yourself to the greats, I was able to give out quality music that most people say nobody's checking for good music. They just want the hits. I was able to give out quality music. The people took it in and it charted. That's a win. Let's stop trying to make wins not count. That's a win. Only time charts don't count is if you somebody who not really competing like that. You making music. You're not worried about how long it lasts or stick around. You making music. Can you hit the charts, stay on the charts for a little bit? If you fizzle, cool. This, I don't feel like this is that. This is hit the charts high and stay on the charts for a while. Like, we've been talking about this album like potential album of the year. So we need to be able to take, when we get this album, when we review this album, we need to be able to take it and compare it to GNX. In my opinion, GNX was the best album last year. Easy. GNX was the best album. Is it too much to ask, or is it too much to expect this to be the same? Is it an album of the year, not candidate, but album of the year winner? Now, I mean, I'm sure it don't matter to everybody, but in the context of the way everybody, including myself, have been talking about this album, we've talked about it. Like, this album comes out, like I said, just over a day. In just over a day, we'll have this album officially. Because, like I said, it was leaked. If we're not talking about this album next month, it didn't do it. The month after, it didn't do it. This needs to be, and I expect it to be, in my opinion, and that's why I'm asking, because I want y'all opinion too. Or if you don't care about the Clipse album, just say you don't care. It's no big deal. I'll even take that, because at least that's a genuine answer, and it gives a viewpoint that could be valid. There are people who probably do not care what this album does. There's people who don't plan on listening to it. Those of us who really like music and are excited about the possible direction of hip hop, and that we about to get whole, complete, well thought out albums, high in production, high in quality. It makes you clamor for what this could be. But today was the first day where I like asked myself, well, what if it isn't? What if it isn't? How do we look at the Clipse if they put this out and it's not to that quality? I think I got a hole somewhere, bro. But definitely let me know what y'all think, because I ain't gonna make this too long. How many songs constitute a successful album, right? It's one of the things I'm, mulling through my head. GNX is a no skip. GNX is a no skip album. As in, you don't skip any songs. Not one. I had to let one song, after all, one song that took the longest to grow on me was Gloria. Some of what helped me, and I know a lot of people don't like the reaction channels and the assumptions, this means this or this means that, but the possibility, according to us, Gloria represents his pen and all of that, gave me another viewpoint on how to digest the song. I don't think I have that much of an issue with a Clipse album, because I'm more overly streetish about my music. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I love taking in a good Kendrick Lamar album, but I don't expect all my music to be that. So, taking that into consideration, I'm thinking at most 13 tracks. I need to be able to rock with 11. I need to be able to fully rock with 11. It don't have to be 1 through 11, like in order. But 11 out of these 13 tracks, need to go, need to be it. And you're gonna need a good handful of them to touch the charts, with maybe one or two consistently climbing throughout the weeks type situation. This is the first day I felt that nervous part, because the album is almost here and it's like, but what if it's not what I mentally built it up to be? And I feel like I was justifying building it up to that mentally, as were any of you who are excited about this album coming out, because of how the rollout happened, because we watched all the interviews, because I'm not the only reactor in the world. There's plenty of them. And for those reaction channels that I hold in high regard, be it Justin Hunt, Company Man, Struggle Stream, not Struggle Stream, but I will even include Struggle Stream, the Hip Hop Roundtable, Curtis King for sure, Rob Markman. Those are really the channels that, when you listen to how they talk about this album, listen to how they speak on it. Wayno, include Wayno. It does nothing but whet your appetite more for the release. It didn't. Those are not interviews or people who put the flames out. Like, this could be a potentially okay, solid, well thought out. No, it sounds like they too themselves think like, yo, we could be on the precipice of something monumental. Like, this could potentially be, and I hope I'm not building this up too high, but this could potentially be one of those albums where people ask, where were you at when this album came out? Kind of like how we talk about Not Like Us. Not Like Us just went with Diamond. Did Not Like Us just went Diamond? So we're looking at, a lot of us are looking at this album like, yo, this album can assist in the forward movement of hip hop. This album could potentially be one of the pieces that kind of puts hip hop back on the right track. You know what I'm saying? I can't say always, but since the Super Bowl, I've been referring to hip hop as being in the Kendrick Lamar administration. And things are going to reflect him on down, because that's what happens when you're the top guy. Whoever's the top guy kind of reflects the flavor. I expect this to reflect the flavor. And because of this, as well as Kendrick being the guy, and the music that we think we might be about to get from Kendrick, I think it's going to only force the issue of production, force the issue of quality, force the issue of lyrics, of growth. Not for everybody, because if you ain't get no growing, how you gonna make music about growth if you ain't grown? So I don't expect it to be widespread to all the hip hop sound like, I won't say sound like Kendrick, but they taking that Kendrick approach to everything. It's not gonna be all encompassing, but it's gonna be more than what it's been, more or less, which is good, man. I mean, because don't get me wrong, I like my some raunchy hip hop too. But I don't always want to hear that. So I'm really hoping that this album delivers what we all been expecting, because we've been talking about it like this could be the one. Like, if everything hits the way we've been talking about it, we're going to have this album that is going to reverberate throughout hip hop for weeks, months. I don't know if it's going to have to stay in power of a year, but at least a couple of months of just this album being the standard, the clear-cut favorite for album of the year. We gonna see. We gonna see. I'm tired of trying to like this thing. I'm gonna have to re-roll it. I must have made a hole or something. I don't know. But let me know what y'all think about this album. What's your expectation? I want to know everybody's expectation for this album before it comes out. What's your definition of a hit album? How many songs out of 13 songs, how many of them need to be on a chart? On the chart first week. Maybe second week at the latest. But by let's say first week. How many of these songs you think need to hit the charts? Also, how high does the album itself need to debut on the charts for you to be like, you know what? This album is a hit. This album is clearly a candidate for album of the year. This has staying power. Let me know what you guys have as far as your opinions on that, because it'll be interesting to hear it before, or read it before the album actually comes out, which is why I held out on this topic until right now. So I'm gonna get this chopped up and get this to y'all, because I want to give y'all as much time as humanly possible to watch the video, answer the questions if you so choose. I hope y'all do. Again, if we following what the hip hop world is saying, the reaction world, a couple of executives, actual hip hop media, like real media, it's excitement. There's a buzz about this album that we ain't seen a buzz for an album like this, and I don't know how long. Let me know. I'm Oops the Great. This is Cushion Equilibrium. I appreciate y'all pulling up for a quick little 20-25 minute smoke break to talk about this hip hop thing. Let God sort them out. The Clipse album is on its way. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I see y'all.